are going to find out today whether Democrats think that President Biden should run again. Let's get into it.
As President Biden faces several crises at home and abroad, many Americans are wondering if he will or should run again in 2024. And instead of rallying behind him, Biden is only getting lukewarm support from his own party. A growing number of high-profile Democrats outright dodging the question. Watch.
You know, if the president chooses to run again in 2024, I mean, first of all, I'm focused on winning this majority right now. And preserving a majority this year in 2022. So we'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
Do you want to see Joe Biden?
In other words, I'm taking care of me.
She's going to go.
Yeah,
That's an easy question. It's not going to take long. Do you want to see Joe Biden?
I don't want to answer that question because we have not, I don't want to answer that question.
The President of the United States.
That's because it wasn't a popular question. If he answered that question, would have to answer also for the high gas, food going up, and the shape our country's in. Yeah, that's why she didn't want to answer it.
You want to see him run in 2024?
I am not talking about 2022. I'm not talking about 2024.
Too early to say. It doesn't serve the purpose of the Democratic Party to deal with that until after the midterms.
Ms. Maloney.
I don't believe he's running for re-election.
Meanwhile, Biden's approval numbers continue to tank with the latest
38% approval to 59% disapproval. He is not doing all that hot. Surprise. Yeah, look, just look at those numbers for me. Them numbers say it all. The fact that his own party, a lot of Democrats in his own party just don't want to stand behind him either.
Gallup poll finding that only 38% approve of him and a whopping 59% disapprove. That's a new low, by the way, if you're keeping score, which we are here on the couch. Kaylee, what do you make of this?
I mean, so now you have almost 24 Democrats, according to Axios, who are non-committal or say he shouldn't run. Normally, support in your party is as automatic as Kamala Harris's robotic hand gestures when she speaks. It's always there. It's omnipresent. It doesn't go away. It has gone away. And what is so interesting to me about this is, you know, Emily, first you've got the common sense Democrats, and that's weird for me to say that, but common sense in the fact of self-preservation, who say, this guy's pulling lower than Jimmy Carter. I don't want to be a kamikaze pilot with him and commit suicide along with the president as he goes down. But then you have this other flank, the progressive Democrats who are leaving him. 1 in 5 Democrats disapprove of Biden, and most of them cite that he's not progressive enough. That means he's losing his base. And when you have lost your base, you have lost the ballgame.
1 of 5 Democrats. That means he's only at 20%. 1 of 5. 20% of the Democrats don't want nothing to do with him. The other ones are not really decided one or the other.
That's right.
And Harris, I loved your cameo in the intro. We were getting such a variety of answers. We have a slow scroll we can put up of all of the Democrats who are unwilling to back Biden and all of the different ways that they sort of speak it away, right? So in your interview,
Wait. Representative Carolyn Maloney of New York. She was the one who said in that debate with Nadler,
oh, yes,
you know, he's not running again. You could have set an egg timer for how long it took her to hop up on CNN and say, I apologize, Mr. President. I mean, it was a long...
If you permit me, we actually have that thought.
That was a pretty good list. Of the Democrats that don't want to follow him.
Throw it up, you guys. Let's show the video.
Sorry.
Mr. President, I apologize. I want you to run. I happen to think you won't be running, but when you run or if you run, I will be there 100%. You have deserved it. You are a great president, and thank you for everything you've done.
But she still said, I don't think you're going to run. I'm so sorry. But I don't
Exactly.
think you're going to run. I mean...
I'm sorry, I don't think you're going to run.
What it is, though, that he's doing, that he's not flexing enough to go far left. Like, what is he doing? He stopped pipelines. We're not energy independent anymore. I would think that they would be hopping up and down. This is the man that we elected, so on and so forth. But you know what he did? He went over and he begged for oil in Saudi.
Yeah.
He kept us on somebody else's oil, which is what set us up for wars. I mean, he has taken us back in time. So I understand why people in his own party who are far left are kind of doubting whether or not he's got the street cred to carry out their dreams.
Yeah,
because it seems whatever faction of the Democratic Party you are a member of, they see the president as a liability.
Hey guys.
For whatever reason, he's either not progressive enough,
Yeah.
he's not common sense enough, he's not present enough. Whatever it is, everyone has their position that he is not enough, that he's
Just
probably
not
outright
enough,
failing.
Not enough. And when you look at the approval.
Well, duh. Like, we didn't know he wasn't enough.
Approval rating is the lowest of any president in this particular time in their presidency since World War II. I mean, he set a record. Maybe he did something. He set a record on something, right? Yeah. But you know what? What's really troubling for Democrats, I believe, is the fact that he's lost African Americans by 20%, young people by 20%, Hispanics by 20%. And when you look at those numbers, those are the core of the Democratic constituency. Yeah. Not.
In other words, he's losing the minorities who are going to vote Republican next time. He is not doing very hot.
Not only that, you look at the consumer price index, inflation. Poor people are becoming more poor. Middle class are becoming poor. He's the poverty president. Oh. And then beyond just that very, very simple fact, he continues to gaslight Americans. Oh, the economy's great. They just don't know. Basically, they need mental health care. I mean, where's Scary Poppins when you need her with the disinformation board? I mean, that's really what that's where we are right now. Like, it's really disappointing how we seeing him govern and then tell Americans they're crazy. Like, what is this?
Yeah, and a lot of people are still listening to Biden, thinking everything's okay, thinking Trump's the worst president we ever had, doubting that Trump's going to run again in 2024. But the way the state of the country is, you cannot sit there and honestly say that any of this surprises you. Go out and do research. You will find out that things are a lot worse than you think they are. Just takes reading the newspaper, watching a few things on CNN. But CNN's not backing him. They're not backing Trump either, but they're not backing Biden and his stuff. Lots of other news agencies out there are starting to turn. Just do some research. This is Yo, it's Joe, and peace out.